So everyone, if you're struggling to keep your blood sugar down or your A1C keeps creeping up higher and higher, this video is for you. All right, so let's dive into this. I actually discovered this by accident. So I'm going to talk to you about the story of how I discovered it, how I'm actually using it to keep my fasting blood sugars lower than what they normally run, and what it's done for me in the long run. So all right, so I've seen all the studies. Magnesium helps lower blood sugar. I read the studies, I liked it. I made sure I take magnesium in my daily vitamin, but I didn't really see any immediate benefits to it that I could target. So I just kind of mindlessly took the magnesium that was already in the multivitamin and didn't think much about it. Now, fast forward to the last couple of months where I bought LMNT Electrolytes. And I added it into my daily routine because we're in triple degree heat and I'm trying to keep from becoming dehydrated. But because I wear a glucose monitor, the first time I had LMNT Electrolytes, I noticed that my fasting blood sugar went down by about 20 points. Now, I thought that was just a fluke. So I continued to drink it and I continued to monitor my blood sugar. And sure enough, every day, after about 30 minutes of drinking the drink, my blood sugar would go down at least 20 to 30 points. So you know me, I started to experiment with the time of the day that I take the drink, maybe having half of the drink and then having the other half at dinner. I started to experiment so that I could watch the blood sugar, making sure it was continuously going down, and it continued to go down. As an example, if I have blood sugar around 120 points, after I drink LMNT Electrolytes, it would go down into the 90s. Now, at first, I just assumed it was the electrolyte drink, and I assumed I just have to keep buying it, but it's a little bit expensive. So I was like, what is actually going on? When you check the ingredients, it's sodium, magnesium, and potassium. Now, that led me back to the magnesium studies about type 2 diabetics, insulin resistance, and anyone struggling to keep their blood glucose numbers down. In the study, they were giving the participants about 300 milligrams of magnesium, and their fasting glucose levels were continually going down. I finally started to connect the dots that it was probably magnesium that was causing the blood sugar to go down, and I started experimenting. So in the LMNT Electrolyte, they are using Magnesium Malate. Now, we still need a lot more studies to even figure out what is the best magnesium to help your blood sugar go down, but because Magnesium Malate was having my blood sugar go down by about 20 points every time I drink it, I decided to start supplementing with Magnesium Malate specifically. And my results have been continually, my fasting glucose levels continued to go down. So instead of my fasting glucose levels being at 100 or 110, sometimes even 120, they're now in the 80s. So I will register around 86. Before that, this was impossible. Even with exercise, walking, anything, I was not able to get my numbers down into the 80s. So my current supplement schedule for Magnesium Malate, when I first wake up, I take 100 milligrams of Magnesium Malate. After lunch, I make the LMNT Electrolyte drink and I drink half of it. After dinner, I then drink the rest of the LMNT Electrolyte drink. Now, within the drink, there is 100 milligrams of Magnesium Malate. So I'm getting about 50 milligrams after lunch and about 50 milligrams after dinner. By taking doses 3 times a day, my blood glucose levels have continually gone down or been way lower than what they already were. Now, when I first started experimenting with this, I was worried that maybe the blood sugar would continue to go down. So if you have hypoglycemia or issues with low blood sugar, then you may not want to try this, or you may want to talk to your doctor before you try something like this. I was worried that my numbers would go too low, but they've never gone below the 86. Something else to note is even though magnesium was in my multivitamin, I wasn't seeing these types of benefits as when I actually take magnesium in the morning, lunchtime, and after dinner. I started to become even more curious because remember, I did testing for magnesium and my blood levels of magnesium were completely normal. There was nothing that was too low. And my magnesium levels at cellular level was also tested and they were also fine. They were not too low in any way. So I had no indication that I even needed to supplement with magnesium. Now, by the end of the day, I've taken a supplement of magnesium malate, about 300 to 350 milligrams. And that is actually well within the range for adult females and even adult males. Now, magnesium helps us regulate blood sugar. So it makes sense that once I supply my body with magnesium that apparently I was somewhat deficient in, my blood sugar levels then drop about 20, sometimes even 30 points. And it's the fasting blood sugar levels that you will notice this. So in between meals or after sleeping. Now, magnesium deficiencies are actually known to run with type 2 diabetes, but also insulin resistance. So even if you're just insulin resistant and you haven't even crossed that bridge into type 2 diabetes, magnesium could be a problem for you. Now, there's a ton of different types of magnesium, and some magnesiums are pretty hard on the stomach. The type of magnesium that I've had the most success with to specifically lower blood glucose levels is magnesium malate. When you first start taking magnesium malate, you might notice some stomach upset in the very beginning, but I noticed that it started to calm down once my body got used to me supplementing with the magnesium. And I will note that when I do the LMNT Electrolyte, I do not have stomach upset at all. Now, I'm not going to get into all the different types of magnesium because there's just way too many to talk about. Some are better if you want to sleep and relax. Some are better if you don't like stomach upset. And some are better for focus and all of the different things. But magnesium malate is the one that I've had the most success with in lowering blood glucose levels. Now, I mentioned one study and the dose was 350 milligrams. There's many other studies and the dose can range even up to 1,000 milligrams at one time. The studies are showing promise that magnesium can help us with fasting blood glucose levels. And I will note this. The foods that spike my blood sugar still spike just as high, even when I'm taking magnesium. But I did notice that if I have spiked it because I've eaten a particular food, I can take magnesium malate to make the spike go down much quicker than if I didn't take the magnesium. So there are many different ways that we can utilize magnesium to support lower fasting blood sugar levels and even help us come off of a spike a little bit sooner. Now, we still need a ton of studies in this area, and what I shared with you is exactly what's working for me, how I'm taking it, and the type of results that I am currently seeing. I will keep, so if you're having issues with blood sugar and you need lower fasting blood sugar levels or just a lower A1C in general, give magnesium a try. Try magnesium malate, see if it works the same for you. And I'll see you guys in the next video.